Welcome to the inaugural episode of KILT'N Off-Road. I am in beautiful Brock Creek, which is outside Jerusalem, Arkansas. I will be posting a video on how to get here as to not confuse you, because it is kind of hard to find. You can Google Upper Brock Creek Campground and you will get the directions, but there's a couple of splits that don't show up on Google Maps. So I use Gaia GPS. It's Gaia GPS. I'll put it in a link down below. And so today I'm going to Arlie McIntyre's grave. So we are right now on Trail 51, and I'm gonna head down the trail. I'll show you the trail from beginning to end. Stick with me and we'll get this done. So Brock Creek is a great place to ride. It's a great place for kids, new riders alike. The place has been freshly bulldozed over this past winter. There's not a whole lot of technical stuff out here, but there's a lot of historical sites to go to. Trails are not manicured trails. I just want to make that clear. It's not like going to Wolf Pen, although they've been smoothed out and a lot of the ruts and whatnot taken away. It's becoming rougher. Not the kind of trails you're gonna blaze through. They've widened them a little bit so larger machines can get in and out. And as I show you these historical places that are on trails out here, the only thing that I ask is that if you bring it in to the National Forest, you take it out of the National Forest, and please do not litter or graffiti or destroy these historical places. If you do, and the families that still live out here see that their places of their own history, they can go to the municipality that historical place is at, and they can petition that the trail that it's on be closed. So keep that in mind. Yeah, they've put in a lot of water breaks out here, and we will go trail by trail around here. That way you can see each trail. And after each episode of the trails out here that I do as individual trails, I will load that GPX file to my Facebook page. So you can go to KILT'N Off-Road on Facebook, like and follow there, and you'll be able to get the GPX files for the trails or a route. If you're using Gaia, it's super easy. I'll be discussing Gaia more in detail and in depth, and even maybe do some tutorials. It's not that hard to use, and it is a wonderful, it's by far the best off-roading app there is. That's a personal preference, but it is absolutely one of the greatest tools and investments you'll ever make in your machine. So at the end of Trail 51, we will come up to 1318, otherwise known as KILT'N, and 1327. They join at a Y. So we'll make a left on 1318 and go up to Wilderness Trail, make a right. Wilderness Trail is a dirt road. There are people that live out here, and the only thing I'm going to ask is that you be respectful of, speed going down these roads. There's a lot of trails that split off of Trail 51 that we're currently on. Trail 51 is one of the major arteries at Brock Creek. If Brock Creek is ever flooded, if the lake is ever flooded, Trail 51 is usually pretty flooded and impassable. If it is impassable, the only way in and out of Brock Creek, major artery-wise, is going to be 1318 and Trail 51. because Trail 52 and 48 both link off of Trail 51 and Trail 49, which we'll be passing up here on the left. Rock Creek is the most southern, most easterly portion of the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas. It's free to ride out here. A lot of people do not come out here because it does not have the amenities that they want. So there's no hotels. You're not going to get any gas. The campground is free to stay in. It's got a bathroom, but it does not have a shower. So and that is Trail 49 right there on our left. There are some natural mud holes out here at Rock Creek. There are some tricky areas to go through. There's a rutted up area right there. It's actually got a tree across it. And normally I would stop and cut the tree out of the way. But we're on a mission today, so I'm not gonna clean it today. I'll come back out here later this week. There's another pretty deep mud hole right there. They've had a couple of tornadoes up here and kind of messed up some of the trails, but luckily I was working on trying to reopen Trail 43, which was closed due to a tornado, and before I could get it completely cleared out, the National Forest Service had come out here and brought their, had a dozer operator contracted with them, and he came out here and dozed every trail out here. So they're all, for the most part, pretty safe to travel on. Like I said, you know, this place is great for beginners. It's great for kids, ATVs, or side-by-sides. will have challenging areas, however. When we get a lot of rain out here, these trails can get quite muddy. So 1318, let me back up here. And spin the camera around. So that is 1318 that comes up. So this is the end of Trail 51 and the beginning of 1318 or Kincannon. So we're going to stay right here on 1318 left. A lot of wildlife out here also. A lot of deer. I've been on the trail and I've seen 2 bear out here so far, and not small ones. They're pretty substantial in size. Real quick so I can show you this. That right there to the left, right there is Trail 46. 46 will also lead you to 49. And 45 and 43. I know the numbers don't make make any sense right now. You look on the MVUM for Arkansas, Rock Creek, you can kind of see the trails. But once we're done with this little adventure, multiple little adventures, so off to our right, that is 1327, and to our left is 1318. So we're going to continue up 1318 until we get to Wilderness Trail. Look at that, bears right there, mama and a cub. Told you. We're just gonna stop right here. I'm gonna give mama a little bit of room. So that makes 3 bears. I do love watching the wildlife. We are now at Wilderness Trail. So Wilderness Trail, if you go to the left from here, you'll go up to the Austin Trailhead, otherwise known as Trail 42, which is where Schoolhouse Falls is at. We'll be taking a trip there. But we are going to make a right-hand turn and make a left onto Briar Bend Road. So let's get going. And here we are at Briar Bend Road. So Briar Bend Road is right here on our left, and we're going to follow that straight down to Arlie's grave and Slick Rock Water Crossing. So right around this corner coming up here, this will stop looking like a Jeep trail and start looking like an ATV trail. Now, you can get a Jeep down to the bottom, to the Slick Rock water crossing. However, beyond, on the other side of Slick Rock water crossing, which is on part of the Little Red River, beyond that, it's private property, and you're not going to drive a Jeep or anything else other than an ATV or a side-by-side. So this little area right here is a nice little camping spot. Especially during deer season. And then I've never camped over here before, but here's where you can come and camp if you so choose. Oh. You do want to be careful of these water breaks. There's one, I believe it's coming up around this corner, going to the right, and it's actually sitting at an angle. So if you're flying through here, not to mention all the rocks sticking up, but if you're flying around that corner, it's liable to throw you off to the left trying to go around that corner. Yep, this is the corner right here. And then there's another one right after that. And then there's another one right after that. Now this water crossing right here, I'm going to warn you. So when the water is high, we haven't had rain here in a little bit. When the water is high, do not want to go right there to the left. Try and get the camera in there. There you go. Do not want to go to the left. That water gets extremely deep. Just out of habit, I always go to the right. So here we are at a water crossing on the Little Red River, locals call Slick Rock. As you can tell, the rock is slick. So the water is generally a lot higher than this, and it happens to be very low right now, but this water can get extremely deep. In October of 1904, October 31st, Halloween to be exact, Arlie McIntyre and his mother and father were traveling down the same trail that I just came down. This trail is over 130 years old. At the time, it just would have been wagon tracks, which is how they came down this trail. The Ozark Mountains had not become the Ozark National Forest until 1908. So all of this around us is public land during the time. At the time of their crossing, the Little Red River had swollen and the water was running very, very hard. It's hard to tell or hard to imagine how hard this water does run. I do have an old video from a cell phone of myself coming across the water, and you can see how fast it does run. The problem is you can't tell how fast it is running. When all these rocks are covered, it's just flowing over top. There's no white water, it's just flowing. So it doesn't look like it's flowing that fast. So on October 31st, 1904, Arlie, his mother and his father, Arlie, 44 days old, came to this water crossing, and as they were crossing the water, the wagon that was being pulled by horses capsized, and young Arlie drowned on that day. We're going to continue up the trail, and we'll get to Arlie's gravesite. Now, just so that we're clear, our path of travel to get to Arlie's grave was coming from behind me, or in front of me. So we actually got to Arlie's grave before we got here. I just wanted to show the direction they were traveling. So we're gonna get loaded back up, and we're gonna head up the trail, and we'll get to Arlie's grave. It's worth mentioning that at this particular campsite, and actually somebody's been down here and cleared it out, that people that have camped right here at the Slick Rock Crossing, it has been reported that at night they hear a woman weeping at and in the water. So one could only imagine that would be Arlie's mom. I have not experienced that because I have not camped here, but it might be worth doing one night. So I think we might do that. So this is baby Arlie's grave. Arlie McIntyre's relatives still live in the local area. And when you think about the young 44 days old that he was before he drowned tragically in the Little Red River, which is not the only tragedy that has happened here locally in the Little Red River, that only a year prior, between September and October 1903, that The first World Series was held. The first stock car race was held at the Milwaukee Mile. The ductile tungsten wire was invented. For those of you that don't know, that is what it is inside your light bulb. Crayola crayons were invented. The Wright brothers took flight for the first time. So much was happening during that time. And young Arlie never got to see any of it. He never got to play with crayons. He never got to experience the evolution of flight. He never got to use his imagination with crayons with the use of a light bulb. He never got to throw a baseball. He never got to enjoy a stock car race. So many things happen in our lives, and unfortunately Arlie did not get to experience any of that. And that is why tomorrow is not promised. It's called a gift. Today is a present. So this is Bullet signing off with KILT'N Off-Road, and we'll see you next time on our next adventure. Deuces.